You're seeing red lights on both of those?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, anytime. Hi, welcome to the 13th floor. I'm Marty Duda. It's the return of Bird Machine today. Yay, guys, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yep. Introduce yourselves in case the folks haven't seen your previous appearances.
Well, I'm Luke, and this is Jenna, and we're married, and we're Bird Machine.
There you go. All right. You got an EP coming out on Friday. We're recording this a little bit ahead of that time, but probably folks will see that. It's called Hey Human. What's the significance of the title?
You want me to
do?
Okay.
All right, take it away.
Well, really, the idea just came from when I would go for walks with our two little kids,
right.
And they would have been, they're 4 and 6 now, and so a bit younger. And whenever they'd see people, they would refer to them as humans. And they'd say, hey, look at that human. And when they wanted to address the people, they would say, hey, human.
Nice.
And then tell them whatever they want to tell them. And then Jenna can talk about the other side of the origin.
Please do.
So then when we were compiling the songs for the EP, the title Hey Human, we felt really fit because it's a lot about, journey of emotions through relationships, through discovery, and and we thought it kind of depicts a lot of human emotions, and Hey Human kind of encapsulated that message that we wanted to get across, because we're all about raw messages that are real issues and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
we're
very deep.
They could call them something worse than human, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So you kind of jump. Yeah, that's all right. And the single is called St. Elmo's Fire. Does it have anything to do with? I remember the film. It didn't go over well in the. It came out like '85 or something.
Yeah.
Well before your time, I'm sure.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I looked up the song when we were considering the title, and I was like, oh no, it's this song from the '80s. And then Jenna's like, who cares? No one will probably remember, or certainly not our generation anyway, I don't think. Yeah.
It got terrible reviews. I was just reading up on it. What was somebody said about Joel Schumacher was the director, and somebody wrote that he was, in this particular film, described him as brutally untalented.
Wow.
Well, I think the song lifts the kind of prestige of the title a bit.
Yeah.
But the phenomenon of a St. Elmo's Fire, it's otherwise known as Will-o'-the-Wisp, is kind of like it's kind of like in swampy places at night when there's certain reflection of moonlight or gases on the horizon or something like that off the water. You could see, looks like you're seeing a ghostly light, and there are legends of travelers who are taken in by this light and follow it until they get hopelessly lost and things like that. And so it kind of that kind of theme carries over into the lyrics a bit.
Okay.
We say that one because it's St. Elmo's Fire and in brackets Keep Me Awake, and it's kind of our first single. The first line was Don't Close Your Eyes, and that was for Our Kind. That was the first single we released. And
I hear it in my head.
Yeah. This is kind of the second half to that. It's kind of part 2 of that same message of being careful not to be sucked into illusions and false information, and kind of keeping your eyes open to reality, because I think it can be a very confusing world of information and everything, so you've got to be a little bit more switched on to not be deceived,
Okay, well, let's hear you guys do an acoustic version of it, and we'll come back and chat some more.
Cool.
Myself awake, I wait for morning and stay my belly ache in the garden on a different day in the meadow. Watch it slipping away so slowly. Thought there was something in the light. What we thought was something else to admire turned out to be St. Elmo's Fire. When the noise beats stronger, something else in the water, led to the slaughter. Yeah, the world just turned bad. You're no longer his daughter. That's what they taught her. Do you even hear what I say? Don't you go and live that way. We should worry when the noise beats stronger. Ooh. say I'm smarter for my age. It quickly faded, just like the family witch in the garden on a different day in the meadow. Watch it slipping away so slowly. Thought we were singing with the choir. 2 moments later when we found our shirt was already caught in the brine. There's something else in the water, left to the slaughter. Yeah, the world just turned back. You're no longer a starter. That's what they taught her. Do you even hear what I say? Don't you go and live that way. We should worry when the noise beats stronger. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
All right, we're back with Bird Machine. We just heard St. Elmo's Fire. So the sound on the EP is very different than what we're hearing acoustically here at the 13th floor. How would you describe the layers of sonic things that you've created?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, just like our first EP, we kind of like to layer up tracks and create like a textured sort of ambience or whatever. And so we take that sort of cue from shoegaze music and dream pop. And so St. Elmo's Fire, you know, in the recording, it's got lots of layers of fuzz guitar, like triple or quadruple tracks,
Right.
big muff guitar, and it's kind of like it's also snappy and kind of upbeat. And so I kind of think of it as like a melodic punk with like a fuzzy sort of wrapped up in this kind of fuzzy blanket, so to speak. Yeah, and with poppy sort of structure and poppy sort of melodies. So
Right.
yeah, that's how.
And you're wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, so
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that you're looking forward to seeing Pearl Jam.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
grunge is obviously something that is close to your heart,
Yeah,
right?
I'm wearing flannel today.
There you go.
We're both wearing flannel in honor
Yes.
of that. Yeah.
All righty. So what else? I don't want to go through track by track. People can sort out stuff on their own. But what do you want to highlight from the other song? There's 5 songs in the EP altogether. We're going to hear one more in a minute. But just in general, what would you like to say
Well,
about it?
it's a bit of a journey that will take you through. There's slow songs that are quite dreamy, and others that are more upbeat. One to look out for that we had fun making was it's called Through the Windows, and we actually wrote it in 5/4 time signature, which isn't very common for songs, but it was just that we were like, I wonder how hard it is to write a song in that time signature.
How hard was it?
Initially, it took a while to get your head around it because you don't
Right.
hear that timing very often, but I think it works and it kind of takes you in a bit of a trance. So, and it really kind of worked with the rest of the song. So we were excited to put it on the EP.
It's kind of like My Bloody Valentine. Kevin Shields talked about how the sheer volume of their music and also their fuzzy sort of textures, their goal was to entrance people, or kind of put them into a certain trance, and it's almost like they're getting high on it, sort of thing.
Right.
Not that we want to make people high per se, but just that we do in our music oftentimes create a dreamy aesthetic that people can kind of meditate to, get lost in, alongside having at the same time like having pop melodies.
Right.
And then some tracks are shorter and faster, of course, as well.
Yep.
But yeah, so the EP has those sorts of devices running through it, kind of similar to our last one. But I feel like, how would you feel like this one? How do you think this one differs from the last EP?
I think it's more we've kind of come to figure out our sound completely because,
Right.
We talked about last time we were here how Luke came from alternative and I was from pop, and we had to kind of find where that middle ground was. And I think this is perfectly in the middle of our so we've found our sound.
Right. And speaking of sound, now you're doing some live shows. And I saw you guys at the Wine Cellar not too long ago. So do you have to think about how you're going to translate these things with the band and with your other folks that play with you?
Yeah, like, well, all the singles, we've played live and stuff, and we've also got songs from the next record that we've been playing live as well. But yeah, we try to capture as much from the record as we can with just the 4 musicians, because we play as a 4-piece. And yeah, so there's a lot of dancing around the pedal board sort of thing. But I feel like we do capture a lot of the texture. And me having a lot of pedals as well can create kind of this shoegaze sort of, I've got a kind of shoegaze palette sort of thing.
Yeah.
So even with one guitar, if you layer up effects and stuff, you can get a real full sort of sound.
Okay.
And there's Luke obviously sings, I sing, and my sister who's the bassist also sings. So the harmonies, we kind of like to, a lot of our music is very harmonic and there's lots of harmonies, and so we like to do that live as well.
All right. And now you're going to do another song for us. You'll Be Fine, is that it?
Yeah, You'll Be Fine was the second single from Hey Human, so it's just come before St. Elmo's Fire. And so that one's kind of probably the most shoegazy of the, and almost prog kind of the songs. And we had someone describe it as kind of like a sensory experience, especially when you listen with headphones. There's a stereo panning.
There's all sorts of swirling and stuff going on in there.
That's
How
right.
did you make those, without going into too much detail? What were you thinking about? What were you trying to create in that space?
I mean, taking the cues from shoegaze without trying to kind of be a rip-off or just use tropes or whatever. But there's a lot of spaciousness in the vocal. With reverb and with the guitars with delay, and using the sort of guitar wash sort of shoegaze device as well, and phaser for the psychedelic sort of effect.
So is there a pedal that just says shoegaze wash? And you just push it and boom.
Well, it's just called having two delay reverb pedals on at the same time, and use a BD2 Blues Driver for the overdrive, and that can get into kind of fuzzy territory for that one as well. So in the choruses there and stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else we need to hear, or should we hear the song?
No, I think that's...
All right. Well, good luck with the EP and
Thank
everything
you.
else. Thanks for coming up and hanging out. It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Hide away when it's getting hard, 'cause it's easier than when you gave it up. When you looked outside, weren't you holding on? See, I gave my hand to you just to save it all. Now you're worried, everything has broken, but you'll be fine. If you're ready to stay while you're walking away, I've been looking for change, but it's always the same. When you lay it down on me, you lay me down to sleep before we're in too deep. I know if you're ready to stay while you're walking away. I wanted more than to make it through. I feel the same when I look at you. You change your mind when you're on the run. See, I gave my hand to you just to save it all. And you know now nothing's really broken. If you're ready to stay while you're walking away, I've been looking for change, but it's always the same. When you lay it down on me, you lay me down to sleep before we're in too deep. I know if you're ready to stay while you're walking away. If you're ready to stay while you're walking away. been looking for change, but it's always the same. If you're ready to stay while you're walking away, I've been looking for change, but it's always the same. When you lay it down on me, you lay me down to sleep before we're into